Well, Friday's neighbor is here, and it's the 12th day of the month of March, the year 2015. Good evening and welcome to Prime News Live. First, let's take a look at the headlines.
And I speak on behalf of the Parliamentary Commission. We have not taken a decision that could have amounted to what has been communicated.
Parliament rescinds decision to expel journalists who have reported in Parliament for over 5 years.
We are going to fight, and we are going to fight to win. 100% must be scrapped to zero.
Police battles Makerere University students protesting the 100% fees policy.
Yeah, we have problem on issue of the reach of firefighters because of traffic jam.
Fire Gatsal Dina police quarters as fire brigade is criticized for slow response.
Without sufficient resources, it is always going to be very difficult for us to qualify, because for you to achieve qualification, you need to develop.
And Bidco bankrolls 2019 Cranes AFCON project. Thank you for staying with us. Now the news in detail. I'm Mildred Tuhaise. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah, has revoked the directive to media houses to withdraw all journalists who have covered Parliament for more than 5 years, starting May 1st, as he revealed that the Parliamentary Commission did not make such a decision. Speaking during the plenary session, Oulanyah directed that all the orders in the letter written by the clerk be considered of no effect, as journalists were left asking the question, who could have originated what is now being called Parliament's evil letter?
Finally, journalists attached to Parliament breathed a sigh of relief as what had been tagged the evil letter, throwing out all journalists who have reported from the House for more than 5 years, effective 1st May, was officially disowned by the Parliamentary Commission.
And I speak on behalf of the Parliamentary Commission. We have not taken a decision that could have amounted to what has been communicated. And this letter should be taken as a letter, but its command should be treated as no command for these purposes. And the date set shall not be effective until the Parliamentary Commission comes with some formal decision on this particular matter, other than what was decided in August of last year.
In his address to MPs, the Deputy Speaker raised eyebrows when he declared that such a resolution was not passed in any of the Commission's sittings.
After this meeting of the 21st of August 2014, there has been no other meeting of the Commission that discussed this matter. So if this letter written in the clerk is based on this particular decision, then it would be a very wide interpretation of what was said by the Parliamentary Commission.
Earlier, parliamentary reporters under their umbrella body, the Uganda Parliamentary Reporters Association, met to forge a way forward and issued an ultimatum of Monday to the legislature to withdraw the letter or face a judicial challenge.
These commissioners might be saying no, no, no. But in front of Kadaga, they might come and call their tails. I'm telling you.
I should put a time frame on this, because, time is not on your side.
That is it.
You have 1 month.
If Kadaga was the president, just imagine a situation. Let's not go there to beg Madam Speaker to give us the inherent right we have.
Okay, thank you.
The reporters also debated a media blackout to be enforced on the office of the Leader of the Opposition and the Commission, with Monday set as the ultimatum. Veteran journalist and the Leader of the Opposition, Wafula Ogutu, earlier defended the decision and reasoned that some long-serving journalists in Parliament had resorted to sexual relationships with MPs, and some, according to him, are biased. The journalists had allies among MPs who as well voiced their strong opposition to the directive.
Unless there's something we want to hide, which is wrong for us to hide, then we will never have capacity to ask others to account. And if they want senior journalists to leave, then senior members of Parliament should leave, because they have also overstayed in the House. Otherwise, you cannot tell others to go where we want to stay.
We as members of parliament, we took exception on the affront on the media by the executive in times past. And now, it is more than just a shame that again the parliament will be seen to be meeting another affront on the media.
What remains is an explanation from Parliament on who exactly originated the letter purported to be a resolution of the Commission, but now being disowned by many MPs, including the Deputy Speaker. Sabit Joseph, WBS Television, Parliament.
Away from the August House, students of Makerere University Thursday went on strike, protesting the fees policy requiring all private students to pay full fees in the first 6 weeks of the semester. Following this policy, students are required to have cleared tuition before the 13th of this month, which sparked off the strike. The university was forced to shift the deadline to 27th of this month to calm down the younger students.
The private students went up in arms against the policy and wanted to march to petition Parliament. Police then intercepted the students around Wandegea, ending into running battles between the police and the students.
Now, these students, some of them are just being subversive. They cannot keep quiet so that their leaders can explain to them the ongoing whatever. So I think we are containing them and giving them grace period to keep quiet by themselves.
After dispersing, the younger students again mobilized themselves and continued striking inside the university campus. They put stones in the middle of the roads connecting to the university, and some of them were seen putting on masks around their faces to avoid being seen. Some of the students set up fire on the roads.
We are going to fight, and we are going to fight to win. 100% must be scrapped to zero.
Trust me, we are here to fight these unfair policies and to assure you these are policies which are affecting our students, not only those who are here, but if this policy is being implemented, it will affect even the future generation. So our say is that Dumba, who is the Vice Chancellor in charge of administration, should come out and address us, and arrest, otherwise police can't stop this, it's out of order.
Following the strike, the University Senate issued a statement extending the deadline to 27th of this month to give students more time to clear their tuition.
Their request to extend the deadline for payment of fees from 14th March to 27th March, that's for another 2 weeks, had been granted.
Students have always disagreed with such policies, and this is not the first time they are striking over the matter, although the university insists the policy has been agreed on earlier and is only being implemented now.
And if you are one of them, I'm going to lock you in.
No,
I cannot.
On which grounds? On which grounds?
On which something and you are sabotaging. And I cannot lock you in.
How can you
mention again that I cannot lock you in?
How can you put up a policy? How can you put up a policy?
Can you mention that I cannot lock you in?
First, mention again. No.
And well, this very story creates the basis for our discussion tonight. And in the opinion poll question, we are asking how can the tuition fees issues of public universities be sorted out to avoid such strikes? Once again, how can the tuition fees issues of public universities be sorted out to avoid such strikes? Now, to be a part of this discussion, simply go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/WBS TV Uganda. Drop your comment, and later on, as we get along with the bulletin, we'll sample some of your reactions. Away from the strikes, fire has gutted police quarters in Alidina next to Old Kampala Police, destroying property worth millions of shillings. The cause of the fire is yet to be known, but eyewitnesses suspect to have been due to a short circuit. Despite the fire being very close to Old Kampala Police, it took fire brigade trucks over 30 minutes to arrive to the scene.
Oje. Changu. Ejobada checha bale myokola. Mugamene bya mahera bagajjeko. Jangu oyogere eri abantu.
Baby. Ngapija ga baka sokola chipile kibwatise. Akati ndale ngome kutani sokwaga. Kwekube ndulu. Ninga sala yo akola chi? Kasira abanyamba. Akati ninanyiri bitende bamuyitidde naye najja. Naduka.
Dewa bwerwe boni bakola kino balaba omuka nkola kyenyumba ng'enyo tebamanyi bakutandise kutuuka oba ki ntegete kati kaka abantu bakola kibatandika abantu bayingiramu nga bafulumya ebintu nga basula wabwera nga baleta amazzi nga bakola ki nga bakasuka eno oba tuta fire brigade oba fire biki yaze oluvannyuma ng'ebintu nga bamaze kola ki kubigonza.
Everything has been done. The cause of the fire must have been electricity. Your room may not have a shortcut such that I mean say it may be properly wired when the other room is not properly wired.
Pouring water. Yeah, we have problem on issue of the reach of firefighters because of traffic jam, but they maneuvered in all possible way. They reached the switch of the fire. So as per now, the place is peaceful and calm. We shall try to find out. The seat of the fire is in one of the rooms, which we are really highly suspecting to have come from the short circuit.
What a pity to those who lost their property. Now, a section of members of parliament are threatening to move to court to challenge the appointment of Justice Stephen Kavuma as the Deputy Chief Justice if the Appointments Committee of Parliament goes ahead to invite him for vetting. The members of Parliament questioned the procedure that led to his appointment, as they allege he was not duly nominated by the Judicial Service Commission.
With the clock ticking to the March 18th date set for the Appointments Committee to vet individuals nominated to offices by the President, a section of MPs are moving to block Justice Stephen Kavuma's appointment as Deputy Chief Justice, insisting his name was smuggled without following due process.
We expect justice and fairness everywhere, not in the only cases that appear before the judges, but also in the procedures that bring in the judges to work on behalf of Ugandans. It is so unfair that a justice would want to work on a case and appear fair when actually he didn't come into that position in a fair way or in a just or in the due process using the right procedure.
Justice Kavuma has never gone through an interview for that job, has not gone through a due process for the appointment of Deputy Chief Justice.
So the point really has been made that this is yet again another illegality, for which I would want to ask my colleagues who sit on the Appointments Committee not to even waste their time concerning themselves with the appointment of Justice Stephen Kavuma, because by inviting him to the committee for vetting, the committee itself will be committing an illegality.
The MPs are calling on Parliament not to consider his nomination as they vote to move to court to challenge any attempt to approve him. The head of state has nominated the Constitutional Court Justice to deputize Justice Badkat Rebe at the helm of the judiciary. Kavuma has been acting as Chief Justice as well as Deputy Chief Justice since the retirement of Benjamin Odoki as Chief Justice. His tenure has, however, been controversial, with sharp opposition to his work and appointment by a group that thinks Kavuma is an NRM cadre working to the wits of the regime in power. Sabit Joseph, Rebels Television, Parliament.
Kampala Capital City Authority has shut down the Uchumi Supermarket Bakery in Kampala, which was found in a hygienically wanton condition. The authority's public health team visited the bakery at Uchumi Supermarket Garden City and found a generally unhygienic environment. The development comes as Kampala and the neighboring areas battle the typhoid fever, which thrives in a poor sanitized environment.
Our public health team, together with law enforcement, this morning closed down the food court area of Uchumi. The reason why we closed it was because of the poor hygiene in the kitchen and the service area. We issued them a notice which directed them to try and improve the cleanliness in the kitchen, but when we inspected the kitchen, we found that there was no improvement. That is why we decided to close them.
We'll now take a very short break. When we return, more stories are still lined up for you, but first a reminder of our top stories. Parliament rescinds decision to expel journalists who have reported in Parliament for over 5 years. Police battles Makerere University students protesting 100% fees policy. And fire guards Aldina police quarters. Fire brigade criticized for slow response.
Do you recall the last time garbage in your neighborhood was collected? Have you ever experienced garbage spillage trails along your road? Now that will be history. Spear Motors brings you a hygienically safe and labor-efficient garbage compactor truck. Unlike ordinary garbage trucks, this garbage compactor truck completely covers the waste and carries 20 tons of garbage. There is 0% spillage and much fewer trips to the dumping site. The garbage compactor truck is a self-loader. Only 2 men are required for the whole operation. Local authorities and private garbage collectors, the garbage compactor truck is now available at Spear Motors, Nakawa.
Hey, let's do it.
This is how we used to watch football on our small TV.
But then, we sold some of our stuff that we didn't use anymore on OLX
and bought ourselves a big TV.
Here is how it works. Download the OLX app, take a picture of what you want to sell, post it on OLX, meet the buyer, and get some serious cash.
OLX, everything sells.
That is it. Easy.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. In more news, people with disabilities say they are on several occasions marginalized on most issues, which they say is unacceptable in a developed world. The Association of the Deaf, Blind and the Blind has demanded that the ongoing electoral reform should take into account issues touching minorities and persons with disabilities to enable them actively engage in the forthcoming elections. This happened as some seemed to be bitter as they made gestures to deliver the points home.
These are some of the PWDs during a consultative meeting in which they want the Electoral Commission and the ongoing electoral reforms to take into account of issues touching minorities and persons with disabilities. The deaf blind who have issues with both hearing and seeing say on many occasions they are not considered on matters of national importance. They say during the previous national elections, hardly 30 of the deaf blind participated in elections, which they say was a marginalization and violation of basic human rights.
For us, this is very alarming because these are Ugandans who equally have a right to participate in both political and public life. We therefore call upon the Electoral Commission and the government of Uganda must allow people with deaf blindness to have assistance of their choice, contrary to what has been happening.
So you find out such a structure, it does not even cater for other categories. For example, the deaf blindness. So deaf blind people are left out. So now if such people are left out, now how will they go and vote for their leaders?
And it's not only deaf-blind persons that have been excluded, but many other categories of persons with disabilities. Okay? The deaf-blind have been excluded for a long, long time.
The deaf-blind say in order to actively engage in the forthcoming elections, the Electoral Commission will have to put into consideration their concerns. A comprehensive set of recommendations related to electoral administration and participation of all citizens, including women, minorities, and persons with disabilities. All these happened as Electoral Commission representative Stuart Tamale was present. He first apologized for the fellow PWDs, saying the Electoral Commission was preparing to meet them.
Persons with disabilities are one of those marginalized sections. And the Electoral Commission will refer to them as special interest groups. They were entrenched in the Constitution and in the subsidiary legislation for purposes of inclusion in decision-making processes.
The electoral reforms are currently before Cabinet that is expected to discuss them before presenting to Parliament.
The Catholic Church in Uganda is stepping up activities to mark 50 years of the canonization of the Uganda Martyrs due June this year. As such, a national corporate Catholic prayer breakfast has been scheduled for Saturday, 14th March at Imperial Royal Hotel. The 50-year celebration and a possible visit of the Pope, according to the church, is meant to highlight the contribution of missionaries to Uganda. To be held under the theme, Corporate Catholics, Rediscovering Our Roles in Church and Society. The objective of the prayer breakfast is to rally a nationwide cross-section of the corporate Catholics and friends of the church to come together and rethink contribution of the church to modern challenges.
We are aware that we live in a world full of challenges. Some of these are taking us away from moral virtues. And therefore, this National Prayer Breakfast becomes an opportunity for the members of the public invited to help us put a torch into the lives of many, many Catholics and Christians, so to say, and ask ourselves, what do our numbers count for? If the churches are still filled on Sundays and other ordinary days, what happens after we've walked out of the church? Is there an opportunity for us to maintain the values that are shared, especially from the Gospels?
And now, following the recall of a letter written and signed by the Clerk to Parliament, Jen Chividige, ordering senior journalists who have reported from the Uganda Parliament for more than 5 years to leave Parliament, and with the immediate effect, the media houses attach the reporters to Parliament. Timothy Sibasi now discusses the contents and intentions of the leaked letter with Presidential Advisor on Media, John Nagenda. And I'll hand you over to Timothy.
Tonight on The Level Ground, I host none other, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Media and Public Relations, and he is Mr. John Nagenda. Thanks for joining me, John. Thanks for joining me.
Very pleased to see you. Actually, we've been told not to shake hands because of typhoid. So,
all right, thank you. The issue at table is to do with the letter that has been described as being an evil letter issued by the Parliamentary Commission ordering senior journalists from different media houses who have reported in Parliament for more than 5 years to leave. In the same vein, ordering their media house to make immediate replacement with effect from 1st of April. What do you make of this letter?
I find it completely illogical. You have people who have been there, let's say, for 5 years. They come in as people who are learning their task. Then after 5 years, you can say that they've got somewhere and that they can ask the right questions, they can listen to what happens in Parliament and understand it, and then for some reason you punish them. You say, go away and you'll get other people who haven't been here for 5 years. It does not make any sense. And whoever is at the bottom of it, whoever suggested it, should travel, for example, to the United States, to the White House. There you have people who've been reporting on the White House for 30 years or more. They get to a point where they know exactly what is going on, which questions to ask. But 5 years, what happens to some of our people? Who gave them this ridiculous idea? I hope when the Speaker hears about it, she will immediately order that this thing be cancelled.
Of course, today, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament,
Mr. Olanya.
Jacob Olanya,
yes,
recalled the letter and said it makes no sense.
Good.
And denied the fact that the Parliamentary Commission did not discuss such a thing, but looking at the letter, it was signed by the clerk to Parliament.
Well, the clerk ought to be punished because this is the kind of thing that gives Africans a bad name, you know, because it's so illogical and it goes against what should be done. I hope, when I say punished, I don't think he or she should be sent to prison, not this time round, but if it continues, maybe. But I hope the Deputy Speaker or the Speaker will severely censure her because she has made Parliament a laughingstock.
Where would this letter leave the quality of reporting if the status quo was maintained?
You know, we do, unfortunately, not just Uganda, not just Africa, but you get people who wake up in the morning and lose their senses. And unfortunately, when it's made official, when that letter went, I mean, I asked for the letter to be emailed to me. And when I saw it for about 10 minutes, I was just laughing. And I was not laughing with pleasure. We would have looked fools. It would have made all the news outlets in the world, instead of Uganda being lucky enough that they've got people who spent 5 years there, know the job, they try to get rid of them. I can't imagine. Anyway, if it has been changed, if the Deputy Speaker himself said that is rubbish, then thank God for that. But the clerk who signed it should apologize to this nation.
What would be the food of thought that you would give to the architects, the authors of this letter that has been described on different social media as an evil letter?
Evil sounds, I think evil is the wrong word, because evil is very serious, you know. To be evil is very serious. I don't think it is evil, and I don't think it was intentionally stupid. Okay, it was stupid, but I don't think it was intentional. It's like somebody going and finding that you are cooking a meal and thinking you've made a bad job of it, putting up the heat so that it burns. You know, it's not evil, but it's stupid. It is interfering with things which are not up to you. And frankly, I don't think we should give any more time to this nonsense.
Where do you see Uganda's media? Is it headed for a brighter future?
I think we should give ourselves a little clap, because that's good. But we should not rest on our laurels. You know, I talked about 59. We were not born in 59, I'm sure. There must be a passion to writing, not just about the subject, but how you represent it, right? Now, I'm always attacking the nation for bias, but I've also said that there are some people there who write beautifully. Young Kalinachi, for example, is a brilliant writer. Sengoba. Who else? There are many. I don't want to them to be killed by their fellow columnists out of jealousy. But even my old friend, Onyango Obo.
You are talking about your old good friend, the one you have described as Onyango Obo. Do you have a bone of contention to call him an old good friend?
You know, yes, it is true. When he was trying to use any means to attack the government, yes, we then did something and he was moved to Nairobi. But if we met today, we would hug each other because, you know, I mean, he's a good writer and I'm pleased that he does so. We will always argue about the subject matter.
Of course, sometimes you are being accused of having gone against the professional ethics.
Like in what way? Explain yourself.
For what you did.
What I did when?
Ensuring that he's transferred to Nairobi.
Why? Why? If you are trying to build, you know, it's not a game. It's not a game of football. This government has been trying to improve people's lives, and it has done so. One of the things that makes me wake up smiling is that we are in Somalia guarding the peace. The Americans turn around, lifted up their skirts, and ran off back to America. We are there. We are in South Sudan. Now, anybody who doesn't understand how important that is to this continent, and if you remember, Museveni said, after the Rwanda affair, when so many people died in 1994, he said, it will never happen while I'm alive. And he has proved this point. It is so fantastic. Have you looked at the map of Africa? And near the center, there's a tiny little thing, and if you look very carefully, it says Uganda. Uganda is keeping the peace in these places. So, when somebody, let it be Onyango or anybody else, just thinks that it's amusing to attack government, and if you attack, then as a citizen, as a nationalist, you've also got to say, this has worked out very well, don't you? So if you don't do that, and we have ways in which something can happen, we make it happen. And I'm very proud of the fact that our friend is in Nairobi, tried to come back here, full of homesickness.
You brought him to his senses.
Alas, I wonder. But he's another brother trying to make a living by being a wordsmith, and he's quite a good wordsmith, I must say.
What annoys you about the Ugandan media?
I am annoyed when they waste space and when they tell outright lies and when they abuse people who are their superiors and when they don't understand the seriousness of what is happening in a country like Uganda, then that annoys me. But what is happening, and I read these papers every day, where I read the Monitor and the Monitor. Yes, the Monitor and the Vision every day. I enjoy, you know, from time to time. I enjoy very much what is written and how it is written, right? And I will forgive a lot of people a lot of things if they can, in the end, bring out articles which amuse, which educate, and which instruct, you know, so long as it's for the best of the people of the land.
Well, thank you very much, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Media and Public Relations, Mr. John Nagenda, for joining me on this very interactive news segment, The Level Ground, where we host people of sound mind. Though, you say we can't shake hands because of advice being given by medical experts that it may lead to other issues. Thank you very much.
Load the airtime knowing it's easy. You get it all back with Chizzy. All the airtime you spend, Chizzy. At the end of the month, Chizzy.
1K, 2K, 5K, Chizzy. 10K, 20K, 30K.
Chizzy.
Airtime you spend is refunded. Talk and talk with Chizzy.
Chicho.
Uganda Telecom's got something.
Get back your airtime with Chizzy from Uganda Telecom. Dial *100# select Chizzy and get the total amount you spend in a month refunded. This refund can be used for calls and SMSs to all networks for the next 30 days from Uganda's most affordable telecom service. Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Introducing Yuga Chick Super. Chicken pieces that are individually quick frozen and easier to prepare. Yuga Chick Super has been packaged conveniently for your family. Buy Yuga Chick Super from a supermarket near you.
Some people say, no pain, no gain. I need a school that teaches me how to learn, not just to memorize. I need a school that allows me to grow, not just to be quiet. I need a school that helps me realize big dreams. That's why I need to be at school.
You see, a good school equals to a better life. Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
This is for the magicians, the ones who make sure you and I are fresh and clean all day long. Amidst all challenges, they toil to make us shine. Every single day, they apply their magic to give us more than we've ever dreamt of. Magic that appeals to our senses. Magic so motherly that little angels can't resist. Only they can do this magic. Magic that makes a big job easy and fun. Buy White Star Magic Premium at any shop or supermarket near you and feel the magic of all-day fresh clean.
White Star Magic.
Guava water, my choice.
Think you have nothing to sell? Look around your home. You'll find something you don't use anymore that you can sell on OLX.
Simply download the OLX app, take a photo of the item you want to sell, post it on OLX for free, meet the buyer, and tunda! OLX, everything sells.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at prime business. Now, on a good note, the Uganda shilling has appreciated against the US dollar, moving from 3,066.26 to 2,929.76, following the Bank of Uganda injecting an undisclosed amount of dollars into the Ugandan market. The Bank of Uganda Communications Department Director Christina Lupo maintains that while there is cause for concern, Uganda's economy remains stable, with projected economic growth remaining at 6% per annum.
Alarmed by the strength of the dollar, the Bank of Uganda has injected an undisclosed amount of dollars into the market to feed the demand for them.
You saw yesterday that the Bank of Uganda did intervene in the market, and we've done the same today, precisely because we judged that the rapid pace of movement was not warranted. In spite of the factors I cited before, there was some speculative tendency, and which was not warranted, and so we've intervened. And I can tell you that right now the shilling is at 29.34, 29.35. Okay, so you can see that the intervention that the bank carried out today did have an immediate impact, and the shilling has strengthened tremendously.
This has caused the shilling to appreciate, moving from 3,066.26 by opening of business to 2,929.76 as trading closed. Uganda's exchange rate against the US dollar, in common with those of many other countries around the world, has come under strong pressure in recent weeks. This is mainly because the dollar has itself strengthened dramatically on global markets, for example by 13% against the euro since the start of 2015. Christina Lupo is the Director, Communications Department, Bank of Uganda.
Our foreign exchange market is liberalized, so the exchange rate is determined by forces of demand and supply. And right now, for a long time now, we've seen a lot of demand for the dollar from sectors of manufacturing, telecommunications, and energy. And we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this demand is demand that is for intermediate goods that are themselves going to produce something that will spur growth in this economy.
Bank of Uganda's policy is not to peg the exchange rate or otherwise prevent it from adjusting to levels which are sustainable in the long run. However, when exchange rate movements are too rapid, the Bank of Uganda will intervene to dampen volatility. After a sharp fall in the shilling in mid-morning, the Bank of Uganda intervened and sold dollars, which restored some stability to the market. There has been concern voiced in the media about a rerun of the instability of 2011, especially because of fears of election-related public spending, and these concerns may be contributing to the pressure on the exchange rate. Alupo disputes this, saying that, while there is cause for concern, Uganda remains a stable economy.
In spite of the depreciation that we've seen, the Ugandan economy is still vibrant. The Ugandan economy is still projected to grow by 6%. The inflation forecast, as the governor gave us in the last monetary policy statement, is within 4 to 6% in the medium term. I will refer you to the rating by Fitch and other credit rating agencies. Fitch particularly upgraded Uganda from B to B+, and that shows you that there is confidence in this economy.
To her, Exchange rates are inherently volatile. This is as true for the Uganda shilling as for most other currencies. Anita Mwanguzi, WBS News, Kampala.
We take a short break. When we get back, it will be sports.
Let your world come alive as you treat your taste buds to the fresh, zesty flavor of new Evervest Bitter Lemon. Evervest Bitter Lemon. Bitter is cool.
Stop chasing bonuses that don't last. Bonga Forever Ever from Uganda Telecom never expires and gives you up to 100% guaranteed bonus every time you load airtime. Simply dial *100#, select Bonga Forever Ever, and talk and text all networks with the bonus that lasts. Get Bonga Forever Ever from Uganda Telecom.
Uganda Telecom, Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
Welcome back. It's time now for Prime Sports. And for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations campaign, the Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has entered into a 3-year partnership deal with Bidco Group of companies. At the signing ceremony witnessed by FUFA's top brass officials and Bidco top executive, the latter promised to extend a hand to the national team, the Cranes, in its 2019 Cameroon campaign.
Though 2019 AFCON campaigns seem too far, FUFA President Engineer Moses Magogo insists it's the only way to go if Uganda is to make it again to the continent's showpiece. Magogo explains that one of the 8 pillars if FUFA is to see Ugandan football develop is sourcing for finances for the national team, the Cranes.
We have to find means of searching for partners that can generate resource for the game. And that's what we have been doing. At this moment, allow me to thank our marketing department and the Federation and the entire marketing committee for us to achieve what we are achieving today.
Magogo reaffirmed the Federation's commitment towards attracting as many sponsors and partners.
Without sufficient resources, it is always going to be very difficult for us to qualify. Because for you to achieve qualification, you need to develop. You need to prepare the team, and you need to present the team. And all these aspects require resources.
Bidco Group of companies, under their brand product of White Star Maggi soap, revealed a 3-year deal worth 300 Uganda million shillings for the national team, the Cranes.
We partnering with them. We are very happy to be part of the Cranes adventure, and I hope our partnership will lead Cranes to achieve higher things. My colleague Ghosh tells me this year they will be definitely qualifying for African Cup.
While handing over the check, Bidco's managing director Cody Royce said they are delighted to join hands with other Ugandans in supporting the national team, the Cranes. Frank Sirugo, WSTV, Kampala.
And now winding up Prime Sports, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather faced off in their lone press conference before their 2nd May 2015 showdown in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fight, considered as the best for the century, will see the winner be written in the record books of boxing. We have the details in the following report.
Considered to be the fight of the century, Floyd Mayweather says
the world will stop when he faces Manny Pacquiao on 2nd of May 2015. Mayweather, who has won all 47 of his fights, told Pacquiao at a press conference in Los Angeles on Wednesday that he was not ready to test defeat. Pacquiao had earlier said that he would beat the American for the good of boxing.
I would like to thank God for giving us and providing us a wonderful day, a beautiful day, and giving us strength. And I want to thank Showtime and HBO for helping to make this fight happen.
It's all about the best, fighting the best. And Pacquiao is one of the best fighters of this era. And everything's about timing. And you know, I think we couldn't choose a better time.
The Filipino fighter has a record of 57 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses. However, their fans have different views about the fight.
I think Floyd Mayweather wins the fight. It's going to go the distance, but if Pacquiao gets a little loose, a little crazy, and catches him, it could be all over.
Mayweather is going to do it. You know, this is a people's fight. They've been waiting for a long time. I believe on style, boxing. You know, Mayweather, you know, Floyd, his reflex, everything, you know, he's so quick.
Michael's gonna give us his opinion about Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
I think Pacquiao's gonna win. His footwork's too good, he's fast, he's a southpaw. Every time Floyd's gone up against a southpaw, he's got in trouble, and it's Manny Pacquiao, so I say Pacquiao by...
The fight, which has been the subject of an on-off contract negotiation for over 6 years, is expected to generate as much as £162 million, an equivalent of $250 million.
And that's Prime Sport. We'll take a break. When we return, it will be a wrap-up of tonight's news.
My name is Musa, your travel agent. I'm taking you around Africa, our motherland, a land gifted with beauty that flows right from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Our first destination will be Rwanda, a land of hills and beautiful ladies. Then Tanzania, the home to the great Kilimanjaro mountain. And Kenya, the Masai Mara home. If I may ask, anyone with more exciting sights?
Movitable jelly and Movitable soap.
That shows her love for quality African-made products. In fact, I move with Movit Herbal Jelly too.
My friends and I at Compass all use Movit Herbal products. As in, I even carried mine.
To have a good service, I first bathe with Movit Herbal soap.
See, I gave the right answer. Even at home, we use Movitable gel and Movitable soap. Me too.
Movit, all day confidence.
Think you have nothing to sell? Look around your home. You'll find something you don't use anymore that you can sell on OLX.
Simply download the OLX app, take a photo of the item you want to sell, post it on OLX for free, meet the buyer, and tunda! OLX, everything sells.
News Summary is brought to you by...
Everybody use Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit is amazing. Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
Parliament rescinds decision to expel journalists who have reported in Parliament for over 5 years. Police battles Makerere University students are protesting the 100% fees policy. Fire guards Aldina police quarters as fire brigade is criticized for slow response. KCCA closes Uchumi Garden City Bakery over poor hygiene. Bank of Uganda injects dollars into the market to save the shilling. And Bidco bankrolls 2019 Cranes AFCON project.
News Summary is brought to you by...
Everybody use Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit is amazing. Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
And just a few responses to our opinion poll question, where we were asking how can the tuition fees issues of public universities be sorted out to avoid such strikes like one that was at Makerere today. Billy John Smales and Dida say they should privatize them. Lojolo Tolujo says, I don't think tuition fees in isolation the cause of strikes. In public universities, there is much more. Value of what is paid is not reflected in service provision. So corruption in management is to blame. Philemon Maki says they should know that some students are from peasant backgrounds. Benjamin Bakunda Don says inform the students in advance. And finally, Christine Nasasida Mugisha says malicious administrators should be dealt with before students get the deal by themselves. They make us feel like we are private universities where they can even force us to pay 100% before you enter. Well, I cannot read out all the responses because of time, but thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mildred Tohaise. Prime News Live finally comes to an end. Good night, God bless you, and stay tuned to WBS TV.